In this video, we'll consider the questions surrounding the editing of screencasts. You're probably wondering why go on about the editing of screencasts when in this section all we're going to get you to do is to create screencasts without editing. Let me explain. Now, I've been known to use the phrase, "you don't know what you don't know," many times. And this phrase particularly applies to computers and technology. So let me paint a picture here. You've got a workflow that allows you to achieve some important tasks. That workflow involves a couple of pieces of software, and you've been using that for 5 years successfully. And then someone comes along and shows you a different way that blows your mind, and you ask yourself the question, why didn't I start using this new way 5 years ago? Well, you didn't, because back then you didn't know what you didn't know. So, in regard to editing screencasts, most beginning screencasters don't know the first thing about the pros and cons of editing. I reckon screencasting is an essential 21st century skill for all teachers. But there's some background information that you do need to know. So my aim here is to make you aware so that you can make an informed decision about whether or not to head down the editing path. And that decision needs to occur after you get started with some non-editing screencasting software. Now, for those who already edit your screencasts, I'd still recommend you work through this section because you're bound to find something of value. So let's keep this short and simple, and there's more information on the page. There's two types of screencasting apps or software. There's the type that allows you to record only, and there's the type that allows you to record and edit your screencasts. The record only apps are great. They're free, they're easy to use. The record and edit screencasting apps are not free. The cheapest ones are around $15 per year. The more expensive ones are about $250 plus, and that's for an outright purchase. Importantly, some screencasting editing apps are really beautiful to use and others are ridiculously user unfriendly. Information on the page. The important question is, why would we want to edit our screencasts? Why? Because recording without the option to edit means you have to record the screencast in one take, without mistakes, without ums and ahs, without your neighbour starting up the lawnmower, without your dog barking, without a Learjet flying over your house. People think editing takes time. I don't have time, so I'll do it in one take. It's true, editing does take time, but so does recording the same 5-minute screencast 7 times to get it right without the dog barking. Now, personally, I never attempt a screencast in one take. It's too hard. And I tend to mix media together anyway, but my needs are different to yours. If I was a teacher and I was creating screencasts for students, I would definitely want to be able to chop out my mistakes, and I'd want the freedom to be able to say the same sentence 3 different ways to get it right and know that I can remove the other bits easily. Plus, I probably want to be able to zoom in and out occasionally, add some extra text, and sometimes some extra bits of video. And all that is done during the editing process. But the fundamentally important message is this one. Being able to edit a screencast means that the recording process is stress-free. Now, I need to add here that iPad screencasting apps do not allow you to edit. Sure, Doceri allows a little bit of editing, but that's not in the league of what I'm talking about. And I suspect there's thousands of teachers who use iPads as the basis for their screencasting who are unaware of the advantages of editing, and who are also unaware of the fact that you can use your iPad to create screencasts and then edit them outside the iPad. Information on the page. But, hear ye, editing screencast is not for everybody. So here's the summary message. If you're just getting started, record some simple, short, non-editing screencasts first. Keep them short, 2 minutes at a time, so your whole video might be in 3 parts. Record a few of these and see how you feel. If you think you're not going to ever need anything more than this, then just stick with the free screencasting app. But if your reaction is, wow, this is awesome, this has opened up a whole range of possibilities, I think I'm going to be recording a lot of videos in my time, then you need to be able to edit. So those who decide to edit are in 2 categories. Category 1, you just want simple editing, you just want to be able to chop out your mistakes. And if that's the case, then just go with a cheap option, $15 a year is all it will cost. But then there's the category 2 people. You're going to want more. You want some zooms in and out. You're going to want to add some text to the screen. You might want to speed up those slow scribbling bits of video footage to make your video move along quicker. And you're going to need something like Camtasia, because the last thing you want is to discover the beauty of Camtasia after you've created 50 or so videos using some cheap system. Trust me on that. Now, some people ask some good questions. Why don't I create my screencast using something free and then edit it in iMovie or Movie Maker? Another good question is, Why use a screencasting app at all? Why not use a video camera like a phone? Great questions, answered on the page. So that's the background information on editing screencasts. The other question, which is handled soon, is whether to base your screencasts on freehand scribbling or to use other simpler means. Many teachers assume they have to use freehand scribbling, but as you'll see soon, that's not necessarily the case. We want you to give yourself the maximum chance of early screencasting success. So, read on and make your choices about software and hardware wisely. Thanks so much for watching.